Okay, Orlando Magic fans. I ain't forgot about you lot, I ain't made a video in time, but today's the day I talk about the Orlando Magic. And obviously, they got the 6th and the 11th pick in the 2023 draft, which is about a month away. But what should they do with those draft picks? I got a couple videos coming up about who they should draft. But in this vid today, it's specifically going to be about them acquiring star talent because we all know the Orlando Magic have a very good young nucleus of Paolo Banchero, Bobo, Wendell Carter, Markel Fultz. If I missed out anyone, sorry, Cole Anthony, you know what I'm trying to say. But I think it's about time this team gets a real solidified veteran star that can elevate them to becoming a playoff team. Because let's be serious now, if their entire roster, including Markel Fultz, was healthy the entire season, they likely would have made the play-in tournament. So what type of players might be available? Well, I'm going to just throw out two names which in my opinion could potentially be attainable. Number one could be more on a short-term basis, but DeMar DeRozan. Why do I throw that name out? Because he's on the last year of his deal with Chicago. The Bulls might actually want their pick back. And, funny enough, the Magic have the 11th pick via Chicago. So it could be a thing where you give the Bulls the 11th pick and a couple second-round picks, and that may be enough to give you DeRozan, who will be on the last year of his deal. I'm not too sure about that. But there's a couple avenues you could go. Now, DeRozan is an all-NBA player. He's a bucket. He can honestly score the ball at will. But a couple concerns would be that obviously the Magic need shooters. DeMar DeRozan is an okay three-point shooter, but he doesn't solve that problem, and he may even clog up the paint, the mid-range area for guys like P5 and Markel Fultz even more. Now, I will say this is a bit of a extreme case because you want a guy who's going to be in the middle of your timeline. Like you've got guys like Markel who's 24, 25-ish. Then you've got Paolo who's 20. If you go to the extreme end to get DeRozan who's like 33, 34, that's going on the other extreme end of the timeline. So you might want to get a star who's around 26, 27, 28, 29. You might fit that timeline a bit better than DeMar DeRozan. It's only going to be a short-term fix in my opinion because even if DeRozan does great and you sign him for another 3 years, realistically by the time Paolo and all of them guys there reach close to their prime years, DeRozan may be on the decline. So that's also another avenue which could put you off going after DeRozan. But overall, when it comes to value and what you're giving up, I think it's 100% worth it because DeRozan will definitely elevate this team in the short term to becoming a playoff team. And overall, that's the goal. Getting your foot in the door, then that's going to make the Magic a more attractive free agency destination. If guys want out, they may want to request to come to a team like the Magic who are up and coming and promising. And yeah, you won't have to give up too many of your young guys to acquire a player of that caliber, which you otherwise would have had to do. Now, that's my DeRozan suggestion. Now, another guy who I would actually go full out on and trade a lot for is Jalen Brown. Now, obviously, he's got a situation where he's also got 1 year left, so it's going to be a bit tricky of what you want to give up. But if, key point on if, the Celtics decide they're going to be open to trading Jalen Brown because they don't want to pay him in the year after next, in 2024 free agency, then that's definitely an avenue you should look down, exploring because Jalen Brown is 25 years old, so he's bang in the middle, similar timeline to Markel Fultz. Apart from Jalen Brown is a superstar, so he's not too far from P5. So when guys like that, Cole Anthony, start to get into their primes, you could say Wendell Carter too, Jalen Brown will literally be in the middle of his prime. So it's not like there's a confliction in their timelines. It fits perfectly. And Jalen Brown is a bucket. Like, he's a good three-point shooter. He's a great scorer. He's a great defender. I know guys are getting a bit caught up in the reactionary Game 7 in which he turned the ball over. Jalen Brown can't handle the ball. Come on now. But we understand he has his weaknesses. But as a whole, you'll be silly to not entertain the idea of getting a Jalen Brown if he doesn't become available, because that's how you elevate into becoming that level of team that the Cleveland Cavaliers did when they traded for Donovan Mitchell. Now, I do think that there's a chance that Magic move the pick. I've been hearing rumours that the Toronto Raptors have called the Magic about both their picks to see the availability. I feel like the Raptors have done that a lot. They've done it with the Rockets pick, I believe, a lot of other picks too, because they're just surveying the market, and I would do the same if I was the Toronto Raptors, but that doesn't necessarily mean you move it for anything. If there's a guy that moved the needle, then fine. Even someone like a Pascal Siakam, who I'm going to make a video on, I'm not too excited by that because you've got too many guys who are similar to Pascal. So would I do that? No. But then again, if you're getting offered an all-NBA type player in return, you should definitely consider it, just not Siakam. I don't think that fits the Orlando Magic at all. But I definitely feel like a Jalen Brown and DeRozan are the type of names that the Magic needs to be looking out for, because you've got enough young talent as it is. You've got an abundance of young talent. Like, drafting two guys, does it benefit your team? I guess, because if you find a shooter at 11, then cool. If you don't, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, when are you going to make that leap to finally jumping into contention? Because you have the assets there. You don't leave it too long to the point where you're just picking all these young guys but they're not getting minutes, and you kind of depreciate their value as an asset when you can just trade the pick as a whole and get better in the immediate term. But honestly, I would like to see what direction John Hammond goes in, because it'll be interesting to see as a whole. Obviously, if they were to keep the sixth pick, there's one prospect which I'd absolutely love them to take. I'm going to say it already, is Taylor Hendricks. I'll make a video on him soon because he's such a great prospect. But honestly, the options for the Orlando Magic are there. You've got so many avenues to go down. Also, you're at the advantage where someone like Markel Fultz, I believe, in the last year of his deal, he's going to need to get paid next season. Cole Anthony's extension, Franz Wagner's extension is going to be, I believe, at the end of the season. So you've got so many things to think about, and you've got to start making moves now, because once you have the cap flexibility, it's important you make the most of that before you start tying down these guys to long-term deals, which will kind of restrict you financially a bit more. But if you acquire those superstar talents now, yeah, you might be in a luxury tax a few years down the road, but you'll still have the talent on your roster before you get to that stage, you feel me? So I definitely think the Magic should look into acquiring some star talent. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think will happen. I feel it's about time the Magic get that type of guy. Knowing the Orlando Magic, they're going to end up acquiring a damn Tobias Harris. But no, on a serious note, Tobias is a decent player, just overpaid. But it's time for them to get that solid veteran star. When I mean veteran, the guy at 26, 27, that's going to elevate this team to becoming a playoff team and overall get their foot in the door, because that's what it's all about in a tough Eastern Conference. But as I was saying like 2 minutes ago or a minute ago, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to happen. What do you feel like the Orlando Magic should do and will do? And overall, if they keep the pick, what type of guys do you want to see them draft? I want to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. But that's all I got for today. Stay blessed, my people, and I'm out. Peace.